Today we're going to Joe Holler in San Marcos, California off the 78 freeway. You'll never, ever have to ask yourself this question again, as many of us have. Do I take my spouse or do I take the motorcycle on vacation? I'll see you there in a minute. We're at Joe Holler in San Marcos, California. I'm so excited because for the first time ever, I'm able to haul my bike with no wheels on the ground, no trailer, and I can still take my family and use the entire bed of my truck without putting my bike in that. This is exciting. We're gonna meet the man himself, Joe Holler. Joe, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you, man.
Thanks for coming down, Clint.
This is the guy who created this. So tell us, how'd you come up with this?
I had a friend that was moving to Los Angeles 25 years ago, and he's like, dude, you gotta make me one of these things in the back of the cycle news, you know, make me one of these, and I'll buy the steel and the beer, you buy the paint and weld it, we'll make two, and you give me one and sell the other one for your time. So we get done, and 20 years later, this guy goes, hey, my mom bought this motorcycle carrier from some guy in Leucadia in a greenhouse 20 years ago, and I want to see if you know about it. And I come down and look at it, I'm like, holy smokes, I'll never forget. That's the second one I made that night.
No.
And then Drew moved to New Jersey with the original one, the first one, and died not too long after. So unfortunately, he was the instigator. And then the name came from the motorcycle carriers got out on the market here in San Diego. And then they got to the motorcycle dealership, and this one gentleman, Joe Garrity, saw it at his dealership, Fun Bike Center. It was our first dealership. And he goes, I got to have these in the shop. He goes, it's a hauler for your motorcycle. You're Joe. It's a Joe Holler motorcycle carrier. That was my first dealership, and then that morphed into 25 dealerships in the Southern California area. And then we went to probably our peak about 2006, but almost 250 shops around the country who would buy and stock our product and our quality.
Well, certainly for me anyway, and I would say to most people watching right now, I would say the reason I would choose this Joe Holler over a trailer, three reasons actually. One, there's no wheels on the ground, you don't have to worry about parking. Two, it can be a one-man or one-woman job. And three, you get to use the full access of your bed without having this extra vehicle towed behind your truck or car, right?
In Southern California, it's challenging for us to store trailers because we don't have large yards or properties. This thing can lean up against the fence behind the trash cans or hang it up in the garage on a hook. You know, and you can speed, there's no registration needed, there's no fees, there's no grease and wheel bearings or maintaining tires. And it's really advantageous for people who have difficulties backing up trailers as well. And it's just all around, it's a pretty good flexible way to use it with almost any vehicle, whether you have a shell on your bed to sleep inside or an SUV or a camper.
I have a 2000 Road King Classic, a Harley. When it's loaded up with gas, it's probably around 740, 750 pounds. So what is the weight capacity?
So we have capacities from 50-pound scooters up, you know, electric bicycles, upwards of the Bagger full dress K1200, BMW R1200 GSAs.
Even the Indian Challenger that weighs about 900?
Anything that's made. The one thing that tested our original heavy duty was the Honda VTX 1800. It weighs almost 1,000 pounds.
Yeah. So anything with two wheels, it's a motorcycle at all. Size, you can go all the way up to the biggest baggers. Weight, all the way up to the biggest baggers. So really it's just a matter of your style, your bike. That's it.
It's a matter of your trailer hitch and your truck's capacity to handle the weight of the bike you choose. You're not going to put a bagger on a Ford Escape.
All right, and so how much does this cost? What do these units cost?
We range from about $250 to $1,000 for our general motorcycle carriers, and because some of these people are coming over from the pickup truck days, the ramps are optional on the lighter weight carriers, because your motorcycle loading ramp for your truck might work on our carrier, and you just drill 2 holes in it and use the mounting position on our carrier to store it during transport. The heavy-duty carriers come with a ramp, and they're also pre-drilled for lighting, because if you're blocking your lights, it's your responsibility that they're visible from the back of your vehicle. And we offer lights in 3- and 6-inch LED dual elements. If you buy the lights from me, I wire them for free for you, or you can wire them yourself, whichever you like.
Tail lights, brake lights, all that to make it legal. So what about special insurance? Do you need that for the Joe Holler?
The trailer hitch mounted accessories are all covered underneath your car's insurance policy. Secondary car insurance policy will be your homeowner's policy, and then our liability coverage is the third tertiary.
So you're good.
Keep it that way.
I love that. Lightweight, super strong. You can store it easily. It's affordable. They're giving you tons of options. I love this. Joe Holler. I can't wait to take mine home. Obviously, we're inside Joe Holler's shop. I'm excited to learn more about this, but what the heck is this? This does not look like it's supposed to be this way. What am I looking at here?
This is your typical offshore carrier that's made with the bare minimum of strength and durability. And these people were lucky enough to find the brake before they lost their bike on the highway. So we generally take these customers and chop their offshore carrier into little pieces and sell them a quality carrier that'll last the rest of their life and not ever break and leave them stranded on the side of the road.
There's a few things to think about when you look at this too. It is, yes, the product that you paid good money for that's not a good product. It is also the fact that if you lose your merchandise, which is your bike, that can be very expensive, and people can get hurt if they're driving behind you on any road or freeway. So, I mean, you don't want this. You want to talk to Joe Hauler for the real deal. We are looking at a Joe Hauler right here, right?
This is a new version that we're going to start making. It's a power lift carrier, and this will bridge the gap between the hydraulic expensive $5,000 carriers. This will be a $2,600 powered lift carrier. It's got 18 inches of lift at a 1,000-pound capacity.
This is for folks who need the assistance.
This is basically not a prototype anymore. This is our first production version, but we've got some features here that are unique. We're putting casters on it so that when it's fully done, or when you're done using it, you can unload it in your garage with your motorcycle on it and roll it in the garage and park it. So just trying to grow with the times as our clientele ages. We're going to make carriers that'll grow with them and age with them. And then again, we have the exchange program. If you have one of our carriers, you can bring it in if you want to exchange it for a newer carrier or upgrade into something for a larger bike or different need. We give you full retail credit towards retail purchase of your Joe Hauler.
So I start off with a carrier that holds 300 pounds, and I decide later on, 6 months, a year, 2 years later, that I need something that holds 1,000 pounds. That's when I come in with that carrier. You assess what kind of shape it's in, which it should be in good shape because these are virtually lifetime, really, I would think, unless you abuse them.
Might need a paint job.
Yeah, so you would just give them a credit toward that new carrier.
Yeah, we'll come up to a mutual agreed price to give you credit towards the upgrade purchase.
Is this one mine? Is this one all mine?
Special, made special for you.
Oh, can't wait to get this on the truck.
So this will handle just about any bike made today. And we're going to take a look at your hitch, make sure it's capable of handling anything you want to put on it.
Yeah, how do you know if your vehicle qualifies for a Joe Hauler? Because it doesn't just have to be a truck, right?
It doesn't, but a frame-mounted hitch is the best. A lot of these unibody vehicles, they may need some welding reinforcements to allow you to carry the heavier bikes on a frame-mounted hitch.
But it doesn't mean you can't use a Joe Hauler. It just means you or one of your dealers that sell it have to make sure and reinforce if necessary.
You could maybe have a local welder reinforce your hitch like we would do here if you're out of state or not near us. But yeah, you can pretty much use any 2-inch receiver hitch as long as it's strong and frame mounted.
Yeah, so obviously look up joehauler.com, make the phone call or send the email to find out. Don't just assume that you can't with your vehicle.
Always call us if you're not sure. Yeah, we'd love to answer your questions, and that just makes people feel more safe and comfortable with what we're doing.
Oh, I'm one of those guys. I had so many questions before I even came here. I was looking online. I asked Chip, my good buddy who works for you, all about this thing, because I'm one of those guys that wants to feel better. All right, so how easy or difficult is the installation on this thing?
It's pretty simple. We just take it off the rack here, slide it in the hitch, install the pin, and roll the bike up on, tie it down.
By the way, before we do that, I want to point out, look how easy this is to store. It doesn't take up a whole lot of space in your garage. It could be up against my wall if you don't have a rack like this. So that's another plus for the Joe Hauler, right?
Simple and easy to install. Yep, it's got to be durable and last a lifetime. That's what we like to do.
Okay, so I know this can be a 1- or 2-person job. Someone like you, someone like me could probably do it on our own, which is very convenient. But are there any special tools that you need to actually install this?
No, it's pretty basic. You just slide it in the hitch and install the pin.
Can we install this now?
Yep, let's do it.
Oh, yeah. I'm shocked. I thought for sure it had to have 2. I thought it was going to have to go in 2 other pieces. That's it right there. couple things I noticed. It only took you about 5 minutes, and I realize you know what you're doing as compared to a newbie like me, but it seems very simple. I did notice that you want to make sure that you have your straps ready to go through the holes so that when you get it up there, oh no, how do I hold it up? Because it's a one-person job, the way you did it. I also noticed that you want to have not the dual hooks like I have on some of my straps. You need the single. I gotta say though, man, this seems super easy.
That's the name of the game, is we want to make it easy for you to take your bike and go use it. You don't want to spend hours tying and untying your bike. You want to get out and ride.
5 minutes, that's all it took him. We were gonna end it right there, but you know what? I want to see this new power lift they have. Go. We've got Dan here. We were actually about to leave. We were done filming, and here he comes rolling up as a current Joe Hauler customer. And Dan, you're here today to do what?
I'd like to trade in and swap out for a new hauler to take care of the needs that I have.
I love this. So his lifestyle changed. This is exactly what we were discussing earlier. What do you have right now that you're trying to trade in?
I had a Joe Hauler that was for dual bikes. And the way it was set up for my truck when I had a truck, but I recently bought a van, a transit van. And with the spare tire rack in the back, my Joe Hauler is set up to where it won't allow me to tie down my motorcycle properly. So I needed something that I could load from the opposite side, as well as I didn't want it so high compared to the dual bike hauler. And this one will be a little bit lower, which will allow me to open my rear doors on my van as well. Mine's probably 10, 12 years old.
Still functioning great.
Absolutely.
It's just a lifestyle change. Different vehicle.
Yeah, I have no problems with the hauler. It's just for my setup, my new setup, I need to change to something different. And I didn't want to go to any other brand. Everything else I've seen out there seems like crap. Bad reviews. Everything else I've seen in person seems flimsy and junky. But from what I've experienced with my Joe Hauler and from what I see here in the shop, money well worth every penny.
From what I can tell, 10 and 12 years, I think that's actually long enough to know if that's a good product. Hey man, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Joe, thank you so much, man. Really appreciate your time. Folks watching right now, they want to order, they have questions, what do they do?
Well, you can call us direct. You can go to the website, joehauler.com, or you can check with your local motorcycle dealership. We like to keep the generally most popular products in stock at your local shops.
Support those local shops. Yeah, that's awesome. So joehauler.com, thank you very much, man. We appreciate your time.
Thanks so much for coming down. It's been my pleasure.
Yeah, and I appreciate you watching. And if you want to see the Indian Challenger right here, what a great bike that is, and the 2020 Ducati Diavel 1260S. I went like this, I meant like this, but here's what I mean here to subscribe.